in that thought, I've been thinking about this one. So Korea currently has a population of about 53 million people. With the current trajectory of population, birth rate, etc., it could be at like 30 million people in 80 years.
Yeah. Yeah. We actually might see the inflection point where it's like, holy shit, like Korea's done, like in our lifetime. Like,
but, and then I start having this kind of crazy, because right now, the problem is that the top of the pyramid is just too heavy. It's aging out. And the taxes are really high because you have to support all those older people at the top.
There are not enough kids, too many old people.
But what if the number of people in Korea is not supposed to be 50 million? What if actually, for that size of country, which is a very small country, and the density, maybe it's only supposed to be 30 million?
That's where I was kind of going, is that there's a natural balance. And most countries, most first world countries have peaked, right? We all know this. We've all peaked and we're coming down. In my estimation, now, not that I'm an anthropologist or a sociologist or a geopolitical expert, I'm not, but it seems like around the world we have peaked and we have gone beyond, speaking to what you just brought up, we have gone beyond the natural boundary of population density.
But, huge but, ... But isn't this what Bill Gates wants? To control the population because there are too many people on Earth, and therefore through all of these programs and vaccines and pandemics and genetic modification, the whole goal is to bring the world back to balance.
Yeah, so actually you just convinced me that Bill Gates is the good guy.
Damn, dude. What the hell just happened?
He is just accelerating that which is naturally supposed to be emergent. Is that each population of every country, well, here's the problem. Human ingenuity, human innovation has moved us beyond the natural balance of population density. Because we're so good at making great stuff and elongating human lifespans and giving people, internet devices so they can live longer and waste life more, since we've successfully gone beyond the natural boundary of population density, we are naturally going to rebalance to where that needs to be. And Bill Gates, he's just merely the hand that's accelerating it. So
but you understand how crazy that is,
right? He might be the hand of God.
Because we spent a lot of time saying, do you know what? These guys who want to control the population, who are trying to reduce the world population, that these guys are horrible people. But now it's like,
maybe there's something to it.
Either that or you bring in more people. What's better or worse?
Oh man, now you're having me take Bill Gates' side.
Would you rather let the population naturalize and normalize on its own and not import? Or the other solution, because none of these first world countries have high enough birth rate to have actual replacement rate.
Yeah.
None of it. No first world country can mathematically sustain the way it's going. True. It's impossible.
Yeah, facts.
So it's either one of two things. Either A, you import more people, or B, you kill off more of the population. Those are the only two solutions here.
The answer is better. The better answer is B.
So you're on Bill Gates' side now.
Because I have to ask a question. Does importing people accelerate depopulation, or does importing people slow down population?
Importing more people will just remove the hegemony and the culture that is involved with one subset of people or one nation. But as far as statistics goes, your statistics doesn't care about your values or your beliefs or anything like that.
Or your skin color. So we're saying, if we took a vanilla blanket across the world, everyone's
colorblind.
Vanilla. Everybody's vanilla, right? And you were to say, okay, we got a vanilla world. And the problem is our vanilla world is depreciating. And there are pockets of this vanilla world that we need to increase the population. And so what you're saying is, if that's the goal, we have a vanilla world and we need to throw us a little bit more people in Japan, throw more people in Korea, throw a little bit more people in America and all these places, then that would slow down the population decline. If that's the goal, then that's the right way to do it. The problem is we don't live in a vanilla world. We live in a color. We live in a Skittles world. We live in a colored M&M world. And the problem is The brown M&Ms and the green M&Ms and the yellow M&Ms and the red M&Ms and the blue M&Ms don't naturally play well together. That's the problem. That's the issue that I have, is that we have these different colored Skittles and these different colored M&Ms where when you put a orange and a brown M&M together, it turns into poo.
And if you are a child and you're thinking about the color of M&M versus taste, then that matters. If you are a purveyor of M&Ms and you have a bag of M&Ms, you actually don't care what color they are. You just need to make sure you have a bag of M&Ms.
So, do you think then Bill Gates is the good guy or bad guy?
Just a quick break before this video continues. If you haven't signed up for Soju yet, go check it out, soj.oo. It's a social discussion platform that we've created. That's where the community is hanging out. Definitely worth checking out, soj.oo. Also, if you're not subscribed to the channel yet, do it now.
Do you think then Bill Gates is the good guy or bad guy?
I think he's a bad guy because I don't like people artificially playing God with people's lives.
Bill Gates would you say Bill Gates is more about depopulation, or is Bill Gates more about mass migration?
I think he's more about trying to play God and try to find the balance that he thinks is correct.
Then he's the good guy then.
I don't think people should do that though.
Because he's more about depopulation and getting to the balance than filling in the vanilla Skittles everywhere, filling in everywhere, right? So wouldn't Bill Gates be more of the good guy then, instead of the let's stir up the pot and create a mixing pot and have everyone infighting all the time because we got 19,000 different cultures all within a 1 mile radius of each other?
Well,
like that's the problem. The problem is we have 19 different communities of people within a 1 mile radius of each other fighting because none of them have shared understanding, shared values, or shared culture.
Yeah.
So I find that to be a problem. So Bill Gates says, well, let's not have that be a problem. Let's not intermix. Let's just get rid of everybody.
I think that's more of an American problem than the rest of the other countries' problem.
You don't think so?
Yeah, because, for example, in Korea, the problem is not as difficult, right? Do you let the population decline and the older generation age out and figure out a way to get some more balance and bring back some of the Korean diaspora, and you try to figure out a way to do that?
But Korea's not going to look like Koreans anymore. Japan's not going to look like Japanese anymore. In 50 years, if this continues, or 100 years, if this continues, you're going to see a lot of Japanese people with curly hair. You're going to see a lot of Japanese people.
Not really. If Korea and Japan got over the fact that you don't have to live in these high dense areas in these, skyscraper cities, and they started to spread out, they were like, wait, I think there's too many of us. I kind of want an acre person, and we don't have enough land to support that. People are like, oh, maybe we should get rid of people. It's this idea that we have to build up, and this crazy chase to build higher and higher and higher is making people feel more dense and more combined. It creates a collective mindset, but you don't need that actually in life. I don't want to live in a city. You don't live in a city because we appreciate having land. If they were to be okay with having land and that became important to them as a culture and a society, then they're not going to have this crazy desire to grow all the time. Because why do governments think that more people is better? Who actually decided that?
From an economic perspective, the more people, the more tax revenue you bring in. So
Exactly.
think about it that way.
The only people that it benefits to have more people in your country are the people collecting taxes.
The rulers.
The rulers. For the people, piling in as many people in a country as possible, thinking that the country has to grow all the time, actually doesn't benefit us.
I like it the way this conversation is headed, because I think we're focused on something that, frankly, doesn't really matter. Can I say, given all this conversation and context, who gives a fuck? How about that? How about that? How about who gives a fuck if the population's declining? Let me add an amendment to that. Who gives a fuck? Let me ask you this. Does preservation of culture matter to you?
Yes.
Why? Because I think that's the core. That's a core foundational issue that I have. Is that as you import these four municipalities, prefectures of Japan, and as you rewrite history and you bring in these African people, over time, Japanese culture will erode, it will dissipate, it will amalgamate to these other, cultures.
Only if you allow them to mix. But
It's going to happen,
If
man.
you put them in their own ghettos and you bring in low IQ and you say, you guys are workers. But again, this becomes a huge social problem, a human problem. because now you're talking about modern day slavery.
Can I bring in something that's like tangentially connected? I forget the guy's name, but there's this guy, Will, if you want to type it in real quick, and I think it's Poland. It's a Nigerian guy. He's a doctor. I'm getting some of this right.
Why are you so gay?
Why are you so gay? He purposely, type this in, Will. You'll find his name. He purposely gave AIDS, HIV, to all of these women in Poland. I think it's Poland. Look it up. Will, type in Nigerian man gives all these women HIV in Poland or something like that. So he was just indicted. And his goal as a, let's say, African man, I forget what he was, Nigerian or not, was to have sex with all of the native women and give them HIV AIDS.
Huh.
So, you might be thinking, why is this contextually relative to what we're talking about? Because women are stupid.
That's the bottom line.
You as a man are going to bring in these 4 African countries to Japan, and you're going to say, don't intermix, please. Then you're going to look at your Japanese women, and you're going to say, bitch, please, don't be tripping. And what are they going to do after 1 a.m.? Ooh, Zimbabwe man, let's make it the sexy time. Let's do it. I'm being so. People are going to be so offended with what I just said. But women are stupid. They're going to intermix. They're going to have sex and make babies with these 4 prefectures of Africans. It's going to happen, Matt. Period. Full stop.
Is this a part of the psyop, which is to convince people?
This is why we can't chill or have any sponsors, because I say shit like this.
The psyop is to convince people in Japan, in Korea, in these countries throughout the world, that your population is on decline, that it's a big problem, that it needs to be solved. And then they come in with this bring more migrants thing in, because that's the only way to solve it.
And they know the native population of women are dumb, and they're going to mate. With this is how the entire population of the world happened, Matt. Is that smart IQ had sex with low IQ and created these hybrids of humans all over the world.
So,
did you find the guy?
There was a Cameroonian guy named Simon Mole who
That's it.
knowingly had sex with like 11 women in Poland, spreading HIV.
And he's done the deed.
well,
You're
HIV is curable if you're Magic Johnson, by the way.
he's indicted of 11, but the story says he had like over 50 or 60 or something like this. So you're telling. So my point is that 50 or 60 really stupid Polish women had sex with this AIDS guy. Like, do you not see that happening in Japan? Do you not see that happening in other countries? Do you not see that happening as these low IQ races intermix and intermingle with the native populations?
So the solution is to shut your borders.
Yes.
And
yes, shut your borders.
If your society goes to a place where population will decline, so be it.
Figure it out.
Figure it out on your own.
Why? Let me get to what you agreed with me on. Because cultural preservation matters.
Okay. I just read the story about this group. It was called, what was the name of this group?
Well, as he looks that up, you guys agree with me. Cultural preservation matters. Does it not? If you think everything's vanilla, then you don't care about culture. You don't care about Indian culture versus Pakistani versus Japanese versus Korean versus... You don't care. But you do. I do. I want Korean culture to persevere. I want my kids and my kids' kids to be able to go back to a Korea that's Korea. I don't want my kids' kids to go back to Korea and find out it's fucking Chicago. I don't want it. I don't want them to go to Japan or Tokyo and find out it's fucking the Bronx. I don't want them to go to
Jamaican?
When you go to Tokyo, you kind of want Japanese food. You don't want to go to Tokyo and find out it's Mozambique, it's Zimbabwe, and it's Nigeria. You don't like that's. Sorry, if I want to eat Nambian food, I'm going to go to Nambia. I'm
not going there.
right? Right?
But I do want to go to Egypt, by the way,
So
because I want to see some pyramids.
let me ask you this: next
Yes.
time you go to Seoul, the first thing that you land when you get into Seoul, Incheon, is you want to see a bunch of pooflingers.
Yeah, no.
Oh, you don't?
No.
When you drop into Seoul, when you drop into Incheon International Airport, you want to see a bunch of Koreans?
Dude, I'm at like Indian fatigue. I've told you this before,
Well,
right?
maybe. Okay, well, tell me about this Indian fatigue.
Okay.
Because clearly I can't be the only one that doesn't like it.
Thanks for watching the clip. If you want to see the full episode, click here. If you want to see more clips, click here.